issues that come up that are beyond their control. Anyway, hello everyone, and welcome to round number 5 of our 6th Newcomers Tournament. We're here with Space Hippie, Destructoid, Mighty Squirrel, and Gazantelope. And I'm still Blues here with Death Tacticus.
I was still loading.
Really? That is unfortunate.
Yeah.
We have a chemical colony, but half chemical price, a lot of low price this time, which is a bit different. We have a double power price though, that is going to be something to watch early. Some decent carbon here for a scavenger. A lot of potential scientific spots with iron and water. A lot of potential scientific spots. Nomad also possibility. Strong silicon there with adjacent water.
You don't want to found scientific when life support is so low and you want to found nomad and just go into...
That is absolutely a fair point. Especially on a map with multiple scientific founds, then there is always the chance that multiple people go scientific. You're competing in already weak markets, and that's just going to make you really slow.
We just found expensive last. And
I would just found Nomad because you always found Nomad.
No, let's not be boring and do what you do. Let's go expensive.
I don't know, some of us like winning.
I mean, winning, you can win with expensive last fund. You get an extra claim from founding last and you can get those private claims, like 2 of them cheap.
Destructoid is in a bad position.
A scavenger HQ has been upgraded.
Because Space Hippie found it elite again and took the good silicon. I am concerned about Space Hippie because Space Hippie does not have good access to iron. That has been a trend throughout these rounds with elite founds. And this time Space Hippie also crushed the medium water adjacent to the silicon, which is also a problem. Having that nice water adjacent would have been useful. Collecting this high is also okay, but yeah, the main problem is definitely iron. And this is not what you want to have to do. Medium-low iron this far away. Gazantelope, going for 2 geo claims on HQ2. Has pretty decent carbon, nice triangle going.
I mean, what market would you go in? I mean,
that is
sense.
perfectly fair, yeah.
Where are my icons? Which one?
I assume he means the build menu. I have no idea what else that could mean.
Alright.
It is F1 for that, right? Yes. Anyway, yeah, you're right. Power is one of the few markets that is okay. I might have been tempted to go wind instead, though. I guess there's no great wind location with resources on it.
Someone needs to buy claims, and with someone I mean everyone.
Yes, literally everyone needs to buy claims. Claims are amazing.
They make money for some reason. I didn't know that F1 is holding menu.
And F3 through 2 through 5 are the other tabs.
I knew that.
I've never actually used them during a game, but just know that for some reason.
Once to test it out. And I was like, screw that.
Yeah.
Clicking is much faster. Okay. Going on, the structure.
Space Hippie has a nice triangle of steel this time. Should be able to upgrade pretty quickly off of that. Has great silicon. Can get into good glass. The problem is these Space Hippie's moving into the single reactor instead. It's already losing money. It's not ideal. It's not really losing money because he's that stockpile of water. But it could be literally anything else.
Lancelot is making power money, which is a lot. It's not a lot for you, but it's a lot if you look at all the prices on Offworld.
This is a similar thing to what we saw the other game from Gazantelope, the first game. Moving to 2 geos, making power money off of that. Again, it's not going to be enough to carry him through. He needs to claim some water in particular.
He has water.
Does he? Oh, he does. To the south. He needs to get a patent lab down and get slant drilling because I don't like to have 3 water claims this far off. He is moving to a patent lab.
Which one? Antelope? That water is not that low.
It would have to be high, low, low. Or, I mean, just high, low is too little. I guess you can optimize a lot.
I mean, you have claims.
Sold.
But I still don't like 3
claims.
water claims. I don't know.
What he just needs to do is
Black market is
get his
online.
power money, go into pleasure dome what he's doing, and go for virtual reality,
He
go on
is in a pleasure
everything,
dome,
after
actually.
you buy
That
those
is great.
claims cheap.
We should... Buying the EMP, I think, is just wrong. They're cheap claims, they're cheap goons. Either one is better for his position. Which is ahead. If you're ahead, you either want to be investing or defending. I don't think you need to be attacking, because that... I mean, unless you can
The
get
patent
someone
lab is
very close to
constructed.
dead, or you
Let's
only
get
have
our
one opponent,
science on.
I don't think attacking
The
does you
pleasure
much
dome is
good.
completed.
Because it just makes you more of a target.
Also, a nice thing it's to do is hologram your pleasure dome, because then people don't know how much revenue it's gaining.
I guess so.
Black market is open for business.
You know what Space Hippie's reactor would be really nice as? A pleasure dome. You know what Space Hippie's second silicon quarry would be nice as? A pleasure dome. You know, stuff like that.
Yeah, I just don't found the lead.
The other thing Space Hippie could have done was, instead of putting the reactor by itself down to the southwest, could have been next to the silicon, then you could transition out one of the silicon tiles and have a pair. That's a sort of building placement thing you can do. Give yourself a little more flexibility, make sure you don't have those single tiles. Anyway, this is a very nice pleasure dome, 369.
That's why you need to hologram it. Because people will see it and they are thinking, oh, I need to dynamite it, or EMP it, or whatever.
Yes, you also need to goon that, because...
Who cares about guns when you can hologram?
Or you could do both.
He's going into... Oh, I was already thinking, is he going
I don't know
into a
what this-
second panel lab?
I don't know what the hacker array is going to be used for. There's no clear-cut market that makes sense.
Power?
Power, I guess,
Why would you
but
dynamite that?
Squirrel is in a pair of wind...
The
I
hacker
guess that's
array is
it,
finished.
so I guess power hacks would
Change
work.
of passwords for option.
Oh, nope. Squirrel is also moving into a pair of solar. Squirrel
what
is doing a very interesting play by grabbing 2 aluminum mines and carbon and 4 power. Never built steel.
Who needs steel?
I mean, when steel is $90, maybe you need some steel?
He's doing
Congratulations.
Let me actually make sure.
power robot play in a weird way.
Okay, so... I don't understand the second aluminum claim at all, though. As a robot, you have halved aluminum costs. I guess aluminum is fairly
A
expensive this
scavenger
game,
HQ has been
but
upgraded.
still. I mean, you have the Nomad gathering a bunch of aluminum. The Scavenger has enough aluminum. Just stick to the
going
one,
into-
connect up those irons, you can have some steel down, and everything's wonderful. Instead, you're kind of stalled out.
The Nomad should buy into silicon if he can, because that is dirt cheap.
Yep. Buy into silicon, make sure Space Hippie keeps producing and selling down silicon, and then you're not so horribly hampered by only having 2 lows.
Wait, what the
Yeah, that's what happens when Bradbury has an actual good found, and
A nomadic HQ has been
Gets-
This
to
is
use it.
also why you cannot talk in the game, because now everyone's going to focus
yeah.
on scavenger. I mean, I don't care because it's round 5, but still,
An elite HQ
Mm-hmm.
has been
not
upgraded.
nice.
Oh, Elite Pleasure Dome coming down.
Oh,
It's not active.
it is active. Soon.
It hasn't had its chem shipped out to it, that's why it's showing such a ridiculous number.
Oh, yeah. Okay, I want to give a tip. If you have claims and goons on the market, first you go for the cheap claims, and after
And then
that you
you
go
go
for the goons.
Yes.
And after that you can attack.
Yes, in an FFA in particular, there's no great reason to attack people early unless
Oh, yeah,
they're
this-
racing ahead.
Business.
This is only FFA. One
Yes.
versus one, you attack first. You can.
Because the thing is, if you're attacking people and you slow them down effectively, well then suddenly you're in the lead and you're getting attacked. Instead, just invest in your long-term game.
Or people can attack you because you didn't buy any guns.
Mm-hmm.
But I see the scavenger should win because the other two players on D-Debs, and there's a robotic on level 3, but he's not making any money. Well, he's making no money in 1k, but he's still... He can go into steel because he has like an insane amount of iron.
Right, because he had this high-medium iron running for a long time. It could have been steel at some point. It could have been steel more easily if he had that aluminum mine connecting up his iron tiles to his base.
Sold.
He's going for an offworld. Why are you going?
Yeah, the off-world is just completely unnecessary at this point. No one has money to deal with anything.
I mean, black market is cheap. That's one. On-world prices are cheap. Well, still, plus you can buy everyone.
Right, they're goon poppers as well, so you can't just easily defend yourself. And even if there weren't goon poppers, dynamites are goon poppers.
At least hologram it if you're going to do it.
Always be very careful about going for colony off-worlds when there are dynamites, because it ends up being a lot of lost time shipping your repair drone out there, and that usually is a bigger cost than you'd ever gain from the adjacency bonus, especially because people are going to pay extra attention to that off-world. Anyway, Space IP has a ton of money, but also in a ton of debt. This is a familiar situation. This time Space Hippie's main problem was not enough power, although fuel is also a problem. Again, fuel being a problem is kind of familiar. Always founding very far away from one of the important resources. At least.
Yeah, Lancelot is hacking power, and that's just giving cash to the robotic, because he's in massively amount of... Oh, look at this wind turbines, he has all 3 goons.
Antelope is actually negative power, so this is just, you know, problematic. He's going for cold fusion, and that will help. It will help, but his water's also not really strong enough.
He should have gone for super ducts, just into some...
But it's all okay. Antelope making the right play, buying into the elite with 360k of debt. That's going to be a very nice stock price boost. It's going to make a decent amount of money even, because Space Hippie is decent territory-wise. And then he should just win from the... Oh, Antelope, don't buy into the robot.
No, it's fine, it's fine.
I mean, it
because
is
now the robotic is spending his money.
True. That means that the robotic can't finish off by himself.
I mean, he can
basically.
still do that because he's making ridiculous amount of money.
Yeah, this is why you have to be careful about hacking power.
Oh, the game is telling something to players.
18.5 power a second. This is insane.
You would not believe who we caught red-handed.
Oh wow, Antelope with the double goon bounce.
Congratulations.
That's not something you see often.
We caught a dirty rat trying to break our stuff.
Triple goon bounce.
He knew someone would...
Yeah, that was a very nice idea to triple goon there.
Why would you upgrade?
Yeah, that was absolutely a mistake. The upgrade is so obscenely expensive. Steel is $340 now. Please just spam steel. Squirrel.
The patent lab is ready to begin research.
Also, okay,
Is he still shorting?
Optimization
he was before.
Black market is open for business.
Oh, right, he switched to a food shortage. That is better, but still bad. Destructoid has a bunch of food down.
Okay, what I said 2 games ago, don't go steal as scavenger, now go steal as scavenger.
Yeah, yeah. Nomad is going steel. This time Destructoid going steel is correct.
And was it no matter?
Right, last time was also Destructoid.
Good job.
Anyway. I don't know where this game is gonna go from here. Now that power's dead?
Look,
Okay.
the robotic should still win.
What? Destructoid finished off Space Hippie, which is interesting.
Well, he was dead anyway, so...
Yes, but... I don't know. This is weird.
Look, if you go into Steel... robotic, Squirrel...
Squirrel still has 5 claims is the thing. He has 579 iron. Steel's $350. What's going on here?
Is online.
I don't even.
The engineers have advanced our production.
The squirrel was playing last game out quite solidly after the carbon problems.
Water.
So
Okay, that makes kind of sense.
This is just baffling. Why is he going for that water? He already has water under his solar panels.
Ah.
To come by land claim,
Oh, yeah,
available to the
oh.
highest bidder.
Build steel, please.
Even as a scavenger, I would just go for the 30k claim, just get some iron and just
Yeah.
steal and steal and steal and...
That would be perfectly reasonable.
Would even
Destructoid.
bid on this claim for 40k and just go into more steel.
Man, is Destructoid gonna make the comeback off of this? These two are so tied up into each other, neither of them is really
He
getting
can if he
anything
buys in
done.
both of them. Because he needs at least some stock in.
On the other hand, Offworlds are kind of garbage. So that's not
Yeah,
a great
but he has
path back in.
steel. He's going for upgrades and stuff.
Yeah, steel 200 a second, chems 300 a second,
Why do you
wires, a
still
ton of
have a
money.
bid on that?
He has great territory, honestly.
What is this price? These prices are insane.
I mean, that's part of what happens when one player goes into 9 power tiles and nothing else.
I mean, he's robotic, so it shouldn't matter.
Launched.
I guess.
Look at all the money.
Okay, the least kept foot, that was it.
Antelope at this point looks like they're gonna
black
clean up
market is
Squirrel.
open for business.
I mean, yes.
But this has been an adventure.
Buy into Antelope.
One thing I really want to point out about
No!
Destructoid is that he built his 2 off-worlds on top of his silicon, and that's just not good.
To be honest, he can still win if he buys into himself and...
Yes,
buy into-
yes. But to continue on that point, his silicon was already weak. There's already not very much other silicon going on. I guess Space Hippie is producing most of the silicon, and if you drive up the silicon price, that Space Hippie's money going into your pocket. But you still want the silicon down so you could actually build
Our
buildings.
fortune awaits.
You don't have nanotech. So
I mean, if he's going to keep these buildings up, then it's fine. I mean, everything is
he's
making
not going to
money.
keep up these steel mills much longer.
Oh, steel mills. Oh yeah, no.
The black
Swap
market
those.
is online.
And then he'll spend like 20k per building for whatever he
I
replaces
mean,
them
it's
with.
still worth it if you look at the...
Right now, yes.
Launch affirmative. What
But
a
I'm just
payout.
saying, he could have 2 silicon tiles. And it would be very helpful. Be very careful when you're covering up your resource tiles. Could have replaced this aluminum tile instead pretty easily. Could have replaced this patent lab. Water engine's not going to get much done. Especially as a nomad, you have all these return claims. There's no real excuse to do this.
Successful off-world shipment.
Anyway,
Make room for the
Antelope
profits.
finally takes down Squirrel. Because Squirrel
Optimization
just
routine
never
successful.
built steel. Even with nanotech, you need some steel.
Yeah, but this sub is not going to make any money. Look at this protection that they have.
Yeah,
5
yeah.
water tiles. Power, chemicals that are there.
That's what I'm saying. Destructoid is still in a great position here. Space Hippie's actually making money, and
Off-world shipment launched.
yeah.
Look at all the money.
Yeah, indeed.
Optimizations. Destructoid has had this optimization center down for quite some time. He's now moving into his second optimization.
Yeah, you need to start upgrading in your first, with your first
Yes.
way you do that.
One
I'll
thing
see you
to
second.
always remember, upgrade what you're going to be launching off-world, because you are going to be using a lot of that resource. I guess it doesn't help that the Antelope has been shorting food consistently. Hacking food, I guess, is the more appropriate term.
SUP AI is not building offworlds anymore because I don't see any of them.
I mean, that might have to do with the fact that steals $250.
I mean, they was always build an offworld when they could build one.
I mean, I think that threshold was lowered at some point, and also Space Hippie can barely afford an offworld at this point. It's 200k.
I mean, they used to just
yeah, they used to just build them whenever they could, immediately. And you used to be very sad about that. I think Soren changed the threshold on that.
Good. Great.
That's so much water collection from Antelope. You know, that could have been solved with a slant drilling. Could have had an extra 2 claims. Done all sorts of nice things with those claims. But no.
The black market.
Destructoid again, just not using that optimization center. That's something that's been a consistent problem throughout this game, I think.
That and his silicon
Launch
claims.
affirmative.
Yes.
What a payout.
He's actually in 6 glass kilns with no silicon production. It's kind of impressive.
He didn't even upgrade class, that's nice.
He's honestly quite lucky that Space Hippie is producing quite that much silicon.
Is he? Oh, yeah.
I mean, he's plus 3.25 only.
Oh man, it's still money going to him.
I mean, some of it's going to Antelope. But yeah.
Not only that 3%.
This actually is going to be
Successful
quite
off-world
close.
shipment. Make room for the profits.
Squirrel has finally started making some amount of money, so that's going to help close the gap a lot.
Yeah, he's earning more sub money because he has some restocks into space.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And he needs to scrap those glasses, and I'm losing money.
The black market is online.
You know what else Destructoid can do? Destructoid can drop this network virus onto Antelope's Offworld, and then drop Dynamite right after. Except, I mean, Antelope does have a Goon Squad saved up, so that's not going to do all that much. But it would still be a nice idea.
I'm still going to say that he shouldn't have lost this one.
Offworld
I
shipment
mean,
launched.
Antelope got off to a really nice
All the
lead.
money.
He did a lot of things right, and then he started
Launch
hacking power.
affirmative.
I mean, he
What
should
a
have
payout.
won Lancelope, and he's winning now, but then he should have lost.
Because
and then
there's
he's
power
winning.
hacks.
The engineers have advanced our
Be
production.
very careful about what you're hacking.
Well, GG. This was an interesting tournament. We did it, we survived 5 games. I mean, we just 5 games.
Alright.
Oh, there were nukes on the market at the end.
There were a lot of things on the market that weren't really used much, unfortunately. But that's okay.
Yeah. Were you the first one to end?
23 structures for Antelope. That is a number lower than I really ever see. I mean, to be fair, it definitely made sense for him to stick in most of his buildings all game. Life support was very strong throughout, so all his advanced buildings were going to stay, of course. It's just interesting. Squirrel just needed to build steel. Not much else to say there. If Destructoid had held onto this silicon, he really could have won that one. If he'd used his optimization sector more consistently.
I mean, the robotic could also win.
Yeah, Space Hippie also could have won, really.
Everyone could have won.
Yes.
Just played better.
I mean, that's not a very helpful thing. Could have won, I guess, is not a useful thing to say.
I mean, it's still useful. I mean, it means that you
I mean,
improve
technically, anyone could win any game.
I mean, in some games it's not possible to win.
If you subtract enough mistakes, I guess it's technically possible.
Ah, depends. Sometimes really founding.
Well, I mean, then if you count the founding as a mistake too.
I mean, I didn't take that.
Yeah.
It's a mistake. Okay, I think Joyful won the tournament. Yeah, he did.
That's probably
That was
correct. Yeah, he did.
a surprise.